He walked in. I didn't realize how tall this guy was. He looks like he's about 6'8".
Yeah, he's only about 215 pounds, too.
Draw play on first down, and Barlow goes absolutely nowhere. Hit at the line of scrimmage. The Bears defense has gotten solid play out of their top draft choice, Tommy Harris. He leads the club this year with 2.5 sacks. Brian Urlacher, a Pro Bowler every year in the NFL, has been limited all season by a bad hamstring. And R.W. McQuarters has earned his starting job back, now gets to play the 49ers, the team that drafted him in the first round 7 years ago. Barlow and Beasley, the running backs in the pass behind McQuarters, who is by far the closest man to it. And Alex Brown, 96, was applying the pressure.
Ken Dorsey takes over for Tim Rattay, who has recurring problems from a groin to a shoulder to an arm problem. And Dorsey has started a couple games, and he was hurt. This is really the first time he's had a chance to go out and start being healthy. Tim Rattay probably wouldn't be able to go. If nothing else, Coach Erickson told us probably just able to hand off if he had to play.
Has a right forearm strain. Dorsey back to throw, wants the screen. Barlow shakes one tackle and taken out of bounds by Urlacher, short of a first down.
You know, I'll tell you what, there's one team you really don't want to run a screen, and that's when Urlacher's in the game, number 54. Urlacher reads screens as well as any linebacker in the league. Just watch 54. Now watch him react to the screen. Get away from me. Let me get to the ball. Look at this. It's just a direct line to the receiver. I mean, it's amazing.
Andy Lee kicking to R.W. McQuarters from the 26. McQuarters midfield to the San Francisco 49-yard line. A 25-yard kick return by McQuarters after a punt of 38. You don't think he's psyched to play against his former team?
I'll tell you one thing. You take a look at R.W. McQuarters when he runs down. Watch when he makes that break. Now it's straight up the field. This guy was flying, and he was pumped up when we talked to him on Friday.
Wasn't he ever?
That was just a short enough punt so that he could catch it on the run and never give the defense, as they came down to try and set up to pin him in, a chance.
Okay, here's your rookie, Julie.
I tell you, I like this kid. I really do.
They spot the ball at midfield. First down for Krenzel. Great field position for his first start. Thomas Jones just got back to the line of scrimmage. In spite of injuries, the Bears offense is strong up front, led by Olin Kreutz, a Pro Bowl center each of his last 3 years. The big weapon in the passing game should be David Terrell. The average is better than 16 yards a catch, but no touchdown grabs so far. And Thomas Jones, who you already saw, has taken over the ground game. In fact, he's not just the leading rusher, but the leading receiver as well with 26 catches. Krenzel with his first pass. Complete for the touchdown, and it's Bernard Berrien, the rookie speedster out of Fresno State, 49 yards. How's that for your first throw and your first start?
Look out, Ben, here I come.
Well, I'll tell you what, which was really neat, after he threw the touchdown pass, Krenzel, half the bench came out to pat him on the head. Look at this guy. He's looking at his main target, and look at the air that he puts under this ball. It's a perfect throw and a great catch.
Well, keep in mind now, Barron is a guy who was a second teamer. He's a rookie. So if there's anybody that there's a couple things on this particular play. Watch what he does to Ronnie Hurd, the safety right in the middle. There's Berrien up top. It's just a flat go. What you do is drop back, hold the safety in the middle. Watch the safety stay up the hash. Now he's held him long enough so that he can't take an angle to get back and make the play. And look at the way the ball comes in. Absolutely perfectly thrown. What a way to start. It's like making eagle on your first golf swing.
Not really.
For some of us, Polly.
Fred Beasley, the single setback. Beasley gets the carry, and he doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Here's a question for you. Who gets to keep the ball? The rookie quarterback or the rookie wide receiver? It's their first touchdown.
They'll give them each a ball. They'll give them each a ball. But I'll tell you what's happening. Just the first series of downs with the defensive line of Chicago's against the offensive line of San Francisco's. These guys on the defense are just beating them to the punch. They're in the backfield. There is no time to throw the ball. There's no place to run the ball. That was a 2-yard loss.
Barlow is back in as the deep man. Dorsey under pressure down the middle, knocked away by R.W. McQuarters. That was intended for Brandon Lloyd, but McQuarters had great position.
You know what he did? You know, you'll see a lot of young guys will try to intercept the ball. R.W. McQuarters knew he couldn't intercept this ball, so watch what he does with his right arm. He knocks the ball down, which is an excellent play.
Plus, the other thing is Ken Dorsey does not have the strongest arm. As a matter of fact, of the three quarterbacks, Cody Pickett, Tim Rattay, and Ken Dorsey, his is probably the least strongest.
Brandon Lloyd is in as a third wide receiver. Here comes the blitz, and down goes Dorsey as Urlacher came right up the middle, and Alex Brown applied pressure from the outside.
Mike, I want you guys just to take a look at how many blue jerseys are in the backfield. Number 54 is Urlacher. He's coming up the middle. There's a deal line. He just runs over Beasley. Alex Brown is a defensive right end, and he is just destroying that offensive line.
14 years, he led them to a 26-20 win. And for that, if you talk to coaches and players at Ohio State, they still talk about him with reverence. And I watched him go back to the bench tonight. He was excited for about 10 seconds, and then the focus was back on again.
Well, Susie, certainly his first pass was a lot better than his second one. Here goes the A-train, Anthony Thomas, who's really lost his job to Anthony Jones. Thomas only his 17th carry of the entire year, but that was for 13 yards.
Isn't it amazing when you lose your job and you're trying to get it back or be respectable? And the A-train right here, this is just outstanding blocking at the line of scrimmage. But let me just say one thing, and it's the last time I'm saying about the defense. These guys are missing 4 starters on the defense. This is not a very good defense, the San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco defense has been anchored by Bryant Young for 11 years. He's tied with Charles Haley for the most sacks ever for this franchise. Derek Smith is coming off the injured listed middle linebacker. He has always been an outstanding tackler. And the ex-Bear Tony Parrish is the veteran in the secondary. And that's a group with no interceptions after 6 ball games. Thomas again lowering his shoulder and banging out across the 40. And the reason he's in there right now, Thomas Jones, with an early foot sprain, his return is questionable. And the A-Train is a guy that every year it seems they brought somebody in to take his job. And I think this guy's pretty good running back.
Well, you know, I think they have a real nice combination with Thomas Jones and Anthony Thomas right now. Now, Anthony Thomas last year rushed for over 1,000 yards, 1,024. So he's no slouch when he goes in to fill in. I mean, it's a nice balance if you get one nick.
He was a second-round draft choice of this club in 2001. Here comes the blitz. Krenzel. And slammed to the ground by Jamie Winborn out of Vanderbilt.
I'll tell you what,
14. Under pressure again. Just got rid of it to Thomas. And the A-Train is loose across midfield. 40, 35, 30. Boy, nice job by Krenzel to unload just before he hit the deck.
Well, that screen was set up. Now, that gives you an idea. Now, he's not a small guy. He's 6'4", about 230. But watch the quickness of his feet. There they come inside. The offensive linemen are supposed to let him go. Jeff Albright has a shot at him and can't quite get him down. I'm not sure whether his knee's on the ground or
close.
Not. I mean, if I'm Dennis Erickson, I might just think about throwing a red flag out there. What do you got to lose?
Your red flag.
The way this baby's going, then lose the flag.
Thomas to the 30, gain of a couple, and Bryant Young with the tackle.
I told you yesterday, when we had a chance to sit, we visited last night and on Friday. I really liked the way Craig Krenzel came in our meeting, sat down, was completely poised, completely understood what was going on. No nervousness about what happened. He said, you know, if you're nervous, that means that you're not prepared. And I don't see the least bit of nervousness in this young man.
Well, he majored in molecular genetics.
And he did
so
that.
you figure he can get through a playbook, all right?
That was only because it was a challenge. Paul had that same option.
Yeah, deep sea diving.
He turned it down. Krenzel throws this to the sideline, intended for Brian Johnson, the fullback. There is a flag down for 35.
Defense is going to be offside.
Offside. 92 defense. 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
And that's a break. That'll get them second down over. And he won the academic equivalent of the Heisman Trophy at Ohio State, the Dratty Award. 3.68 his grade point average in molecular genetics. After football, he would like to become a doctor.
We're talking about his grade point. He and I were basically about the same.
Yes, they were. Yours was cumulative, however.
1 point. We had a 4-0, didn't we?
Well, actually a 3-9. But I was in a 12-point system. That's the only problem.
Krenzel steps up in the pocket and throws another strike down to the 10-yard line. Bobby Wade tackled by Jimmy Williams, and Krenzel showing you that poise that Joe was talking about.
Nice little play fake inside. Look at the opportunity. Nice feet stepping up. You know, a lot of it is Craig Krenzel. Look at him keep his head up, look down the field. But an awful lot of credit also has to go to that offensive line that's anchored by Olin Kreutz. I mean, there's a guy that some people argue and say could be one of the top 2 centers in this game.
They just got Rex Tucker back. They're on the verge, they hope, of getting Mark Colombo back. Now, they've got a lot of talent up there. Thomas behind Johnson for maybe a yard.
I think this is a situation, if you're the San Francisco 49ers defensively, you've got to come up and you've got to play an 8-man front. You can't let them pound it in, and you can't let them score a touchdown here. Dennis Erickson just doesn't have the weapons to be able to match him toe for toe, so you've got to hold him to a possibly field goal.
Well, how about this team when they're in the red zone, San Francisco 49ers, they can't even slow anybody down. I mean, it's just frightening.
72% touchdowns. That's touchdowns, not scores.
How about 92% scoring with field goals and touchdowns?
Wade end around. He'll be caught in the backfield and dropped as the speed of that 49ers defense is exemplified by Winborn. Cuts him down. There's some good linebackers here. Derek Smith coming back. Ulbrich is very good. They've lost Julian Peterson, who was their outstanding linebacker, who could play about 6 different positions. And this defense obviously wounded and undermanned.
And that's one of those guys. The other person that was in on that play was Bryant Young. Now, he's a guy who's in his 11th year, and you'd have to consider more than just an elder statesman on this defense.
No, he can still play.
Question is, can they afford him?
3rd and goal now from the 13, and an empty backfield for Krenzel. Blitz coming. Ball knocked away, got it back loose again. Now the 49ers able to pick it up. Grabbed by Dwayne Carpenter, and Carpenter is going to go 80 yards for a touchdown. Knocked away by Tony Brown. Well, they fought to a 7-7 tie right now. 4:45 to go in the first quarter. Krenzel out in the flat. Johnson with a catch near the line of scrimmage. Brian Johnson, a very good receiver.
Don't throw those floaters out there.
Don't hang them out to the side. You know, I'm curious. Was that 2 fumbles or 1?
It was 2.
For Craig
2.
Krenzel.
It's a double.
So it was 2 fumbles.
And 1 play. And a touchdown.
Fumble, recovery, lost 1, got 1.
You know what's really amazing about the Chicago Bears? When they were on the sidelines, we're in a break. Krenzel was in the huddle. But the 2 wide receivers, the tight end, and the 2 running backs were on the sidelines, and they all came in. He already had the play in his head. But it's kind of funny. The quarterback doesn't go to the sideline.
Thomas, gaping hole off the right side, cuts it back and tries to stretch for the first down and has it. Well, Anthony Adams made the tackle.
The reason there's a gaping hole, Derek Smith is on the end of the line, and he just sacrificed himself to the outside. Look at the bottom side of your screen. See, number 50, when he sells himself out, there's really nobody inside to fill for him. He was playing on the end of the line.
And Anthony Adams, who made the tackles, the biggest guy inside at 300 pounds. Your defensive ends are 268 and 280.
First and 10 from the 39. Krenzel straight down the middle, overthrown and intercepted by Carpenter. Check it, it's Ronnie Hurd. Dorsey throws a strike. He's got a first down to the 33.
I want to show you what happened to Craig Krenzel. Derek Smith, number 50, and Ronnie Hurd getting away. That's Ronnie Hurd, the safety. That's Smith, the linebacker. They align themselves perfectly, so it becomes a very difficult throw, and Craig Krenzel has to lead. Burying too far. There's Smith right in the middle, Hurd right behind him. He just has to lead him too far, and you see the ball get up and away from him. That's an excellent job of deploying the defense in key spots.
San Francisco back to the ground game, trying to get something there. Mike Green makes the tackle on Barlow. And really, Krenzel and Ken Dorsey, who faced each other for a national championship, very similar. Both very bright guys, low draft choices. They don't have the big arms, but they're very smart and guys who I think can manage ball games.
And this ain't college.
Yeah, but you got to do more than manage a football game.
College.
You've got to make the kind of throws that we saw Dorsey make on the last play and the kind that Krenzel made for the touchdown. They have to do that.
Beasley is the fullback, and he's blocking on a blitz. Dorsey tries to run, and Urlacher is right there to drag him down.
You know what's interesting? We talked to Urlacher on Friday. We said, how's everything going? How's your hamstring? He said, we better. It's not my hamstring. He said, the last week when I played, I missed so many tackles, and I don't miss tackles. Well, I'm going to tell you what, when he has a quarterback, look at this. He takes on the offensive lineman and then hits the quarterback. This guy, look at him. I mean, when he said, I'm going to tackle better Sunday night, and I'm going to play better. Well, we've seen him twice now.
Krenzel this time will start from the 34-yard line. Thomas off the left side. Cross midfield. And the big guy rumbles to the 38-yard line, taken out of bounds by Shawntae Spencer. A gain of 28, by far the longest run of the year for Anthony Thomas.
Now look at how fast he gets to the outside. First of all, he's getting outstanding blocking by the offensive line and downfield by the receivers. But you're looking at this guy saying, hey, this was my job once. Now, we know that Thomas Jones has taken the job, leading rusher and receiver. But I'm going to tell you what, the A-Train is showing.
Krenzel with good protection, throws to Thomas on the outside. And Thomas is dropped by Tony Parrish, the ex-Bear strong safety.
Michael, Craig Krenzel has had one of those unbelievable quarters. You start out the first pass of your career, your first start is a touchdown. Next thing that happens to you, you get a fumble. After that, you throw an interception. I'm curious, and I love to look in a quarterback's eyes. I want to see how he responds to this. And I think that's what Lovey wants to see, and his teammates want to see. All right, how do you handle the adversity? We know Rex Grossman is going to be a guy that'll be back next year. Right from here on, it's 10 football games that belongs to Craig Krenzel. Let's see what you got.
You got to get these guys some new hats, man.
Thomas on a little delay out of the shotgun across the 35 to about the 34. Thomas Jones with a foot sprain. He is the starter, is out. Lovie Smith, talking to him the other day, is, he'll miss Thomas Jones. He likes the way Jones runs. He brings far more speed than Anthony Thomas. But when you talk to Lovie Smith, you just get a very comforting feeling that this guy knows exactly what he's doing. He has a plan. He's confident of it, and he's going to stick to it.
And they all bought into it.
And he's not too many pieces away from having what he wants.
No, he's not. Gage, number 87, is in as an extra wide receiver, and this pass is incomplete. Intended for Terrell, and he couldn't hold it. Pretty good coverage there as well.
That was Shawntae Spencer, and I'll tell you what a great job he just did playing that corner. I mean, he's the one that breaks this pass up. Shawntae Spencer just waits on this. Watch it. Watch him get his arm in. Here goes the move inside. He knows he can't touch him, which he doesn't. Then he gets his left arm in around in front and knocks the ball down.
Ball's out a little too far. I think David Terrell is a guy that you have to get in a game earlier than they have. He thrives on plays.
Edinger will try from 52.
Ooh, it's good.
Hit the bar and went through.
Love it.
Peterson's he shadowed the bar. This one hit it.
But the Bears much closer to being a really good football team than that record would indicate. Thomas in there for Jones. Takes it up to the 45.
You know, the A train tonight is really come into his own because in the first 6 games he only gained 48 yards. Now look at this guy. But the nice part about this is when you think about the A train, not only run with the ball but catching the ball. Here's a guy, Joe, that was demoted to the second unit where he's going to run behind. You know, here's a guy, when you look at him run now, he's prepared to run in a football game. He's prepared to catch a pass. Here's a guy that's kept himself ready to play, and you have to admire that.
2nd and 7. Comes the blitz. Krenzel unloads, incomplete, and Thomas threw a pretty good block to protect his quarterback on that play.
I like what Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, is doing. It was almost like it was a given that the San Francisco 49ers were going to come after Craig Krenzel. He's a rookie. It's his first start. It's an opportunity to go after him in a lot of different ways. And the way they want to come after him is on his right side. They want, because they realize that he's a quarterback. He's right-handed. That's where the vision is. If you're a young guy, you have a tendency to see a little bit more on the right side.
Berrien comes in as an additional wide receiver. He caught the only touchdown pass that Krenzel has thrown in this play. This one is tipped right through the hands of Bobby Wade.
Well, this ball might have been thrown just a little bit too hard.
After first win last week, looking to put 2 together.
Barlow. And the play stretched out beautifully by the Bears defense. Jerry Azuma ran him out of bounds.
It was stretched out by the entire Bears defense.
Yes, it was.
I mean, this was a deal where Barlow was thinking about cutting up inside. And when you're wearing a white shirt and all those real dark blue shirts are there, you don't want to turn up.
You know what? I mean, they've been giving up. The Bear defense give up 139 yards rushing every game. And they've given up like to Pittman 109, to Portis 171, Westbrook 119.
They've given up -1 tonight.
Dorsey throws to Lloyd. McQuarters is right there, but Lloyd hangs on. Brandon Lloyd, the second-year man out of Illinois.
RW taking the outside. Nice high throw. Take advantage of the fact that the kid's a big kid. Go up and get the ball.
10:26 left first half and a 10-10 tie. McQuarters, who lost his starting job a year ago. Terry Jackson, number 22, is in at running back. Bears show blitz, and here they come against Dorsey. Dorsey unloads. That one's complete to Arnaz Battle, the young man out of Notre Dame, and Battle battles.
Let me tell you something about this guy. Now, we've watched him on special teams. He's made 2 tackles on the punt team, 1 tackle on the kickoff team, and now Arnaz Battle catches. He's from Notre Dame, am I correct?
By the way.
Catches his ball over the middle. But just look at his strength after he catches the ball. Boom. He's being tackled. He breaks that one. Now he's going to break another one right here. I mean, that is just, to me, is hustle, and it just shows you how good this kid really is. Why don't they play him more?
Well, because there's some other guys playing too. Make catches like that, you will play more.
Wilson is the motion man. Boy, there haven't been many openings for Kevin Barlow tonight.
Not just Kevin Barlow, but how about Eric Johnson? Coming into the game tonight, their tight end was leading tight ends and second in the league in receptions. Now, there's a guy that they've counted on. But when you keep switching quarterbacks, as much as Ted Toner, the offensive coordinator, wants to try and call the same things, they've got to play into the strength of the quarterback. And Eric Johnson has been a guy that I think should be able to work against these Bear linebackers.
And certainly he has been the focal point of their passing attack all year long. And there's a strike to Brandon Lloyd.
Did very well.
21 of those receptions came against Harvard in his last game of his career.
And those 45 catches, second only to Jerry Rice among any receiver in 49er history through 6 games. Let's go to Susie.
Well, when people talk about the catch, you know, you think Niner receiver Dwight Clark, but Eric Johnson's catch is just as big in Yale lore. The 99 game against the Ivy League rival Harvard his junior year. 29 seconds left. A diving, ridiculous, phenomenal play. 4 yards for the winning touchdown. Also his 21st catch of the day, 244 yards. He told us that gave him the confidence to think that he could play in the NFL.
And yes, folks, Susie did say his 21st catch of the day. 21 catches in the game against their arch rival.
Well,
that's not bad.
I'll tell you what else it did. It opened up, if you're a scout in the National Football League, I think it would open up your eyes too. They say, hey, wait a minute, there's a guy in Yale who caught 21 balls in one game. Don't you think we ought to look at him?
182 for his career. That's a few.
Let's look at him.
You see his numbers going into, and that he's been stuck at 45 here in 2004 for a while.
Dorsey will keep it himself and chased out of bounds by Alfonso Boone, all 318 pounds of him.
Well, they got Ken Dorsey running out to his right. Lance Briggs, number 55, is covering Johnson. Look at this. Here, you got a linebacker. Look at Johnson. Is he open? You got a linebacker trailing him.
I don't care. If you're rolling to the right, don't you dare throw
I
the
know
ball
you don't
back
throw
to
back
the left.
over there, but I'll tell you what, I would. He's been open most of the night. The guys upstairs have to see
Well,
this.
throw him a ball. Throw him
Okay,
one.
we're going to throw him one right now.
On the sideline.
Yeah, he's not here.
Ken Dorsey right now is the leading 49ers rusher. He has 3 yards. Under pressure, wants a screen. It's not there.
Good
And he
job.
hit Jackson while he was on the ground. Smart play by Dorsey, not trying to force it.
Oh man, oh man.
And that's what you're going to get. He's played quite a few more games, been in the league longer than Craig Krenzel, understands the way this game is. You know what the score is. You know what the field position is. Don't make the mistake that Craig Krenzel made and give somebody a big return the other way.
Well, they're in field goal range. If he had ate the ball, he would have been out of field goal range.
Peterson, who barely made one from 48, will try one from 51.
If there is any wind, it is at his back.
And it hits the crossbar, and he gets 12.
Only on Halloween do you get a double crossbar.
Can I tell you something, folks? Don't go anywhere. There's a lot of weird things are going to happen. This is Halloween night. That's twice in a row that they hit the crossbar. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. Stay with us. You're going to love this one.
That hit the crossbar and went through. It is indeed Halloween night. So far, it's been more treat than trick. Jerry Azuma. Big hole up the middle. Azuma still on his feet inside the 25. A 72-yard kickoff return for the man who led the NFL a year ago.
That'll take your average up just a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, at the end of that thing, Todd Peterson almost got killed. I'm not kidding you. Watch at the end of this thing. Watch number 2. Here he comes. He's in the background right here. Watch what happens to him. Boing.
Great.
Those are the options. I don't think you just drop them back.
49ers show blitz and come with it. And really, without a chance, Anthony Thomas, Jamie Winborn was the first guy there.
I'll tell you why I'd throw it now. I'd run. Play action is the best pass protection you can get because you keep the back in as an extra pass protector.
Beautiful night over the crest of Soldier Field.
Craig Krenzel's got to be thinking, just don't take a sack here, no matter
Where
what.
they are, Joe, they have a field goal in mind.
Krenzel looks one way, throws the other, and throws badly the other way. Bobby Wade wide open as they faked the screen one way, went back the other, and he missed him by a couple of yards.
Well, John Engelberger, number 95, just about buried Krenzel.
Well, we've talked about teams with this kind of speed, and San Francisco is built on speed. They're not a big, bulky group of guys. They've got linebackers that once they start their angles of pursuit at the quarterback, you have a screen. They can turn and go chase it as good as anybody in the league.
Now 3rd and 18. Krenzel will go shotgun. Has time, throws underneath. Good catch by Brian Johnson, but stumbled as he made the grab.
You always get a guy like Krenzel in the 5th that looks like he may be able to hold it down.
It is hardly an exact science. Underneath to Barlow, and he dances his way up across the 35 to the 37. Marcus Reese, number 52, in on coverage at linebacker for the Bears.
You know, this also goes back to something you have to take into consideration. The number 1 quarterback taken in the league is usually going to one of the worst teams in all of football. So now you're putting a young guy out of college that really doesn't know the speed and what's going on in professional football, and you make him a starter. More often than not, you ruin him because he loses confidence. He doesn't have the people in front of him, the people to make the plays, and that's what quarterbacks need. And you know, every time you look at it, it's like the first 6 or 7 guys taken in the draft usually go to the 6 or 7 worst teams. And you're expecting a guy coming out of college to be a superstar. Well, they're not.
Well, you can spin it a little bit forward to the 49ers, obviously their quarterback situation, but Kevin Barlow. They've asked him to come in now and pick up the load and take the pressure off of Ken Dorsey. It looks like he's starting to get into a groove now.
Dorsey, that was almost picked by Urlacher.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you see the end of this baby, do you know that there were 5 dark shirts?
Yes, there were.
5 dark shirts where Dorsey throws this ball. Here's Urlacher, 54. Look at the guys there. There was no chance for anybody to catch this ball except for Urlacher.
Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator of the Bears, told me that in the type of defense that they play here with the cover 2 philosophy, corners up, safeties back, nobody has ever been a middle linebacker with the ability of Brian Urlacher. He will revolutionize the quote-unquote Tampa 2 that you hear people talk about in the National Football League because of his athletic ability.
And Ron Rivera played on that great Bears defense in '85. And Urlacher, Lovie Smith says, as good as he is, with the way this defense will be played, he should get at least 5 interceptions a year. And Urlacher can obviously get back in coverage.
And 5 sacks.
Yes.
Well, Brian Urlacher, you know, the one thing about him, he said, last week I missed a whole lot of tackles. Well, just watch him tonight. He seeks out, this was on a screen, and Urlacher finds it. Now he's going after the quarterback. It destroys the offensive lineman. Here comes Urlacher again. He's waiting, he's waiting. Dorsey tries to move. He's got him. Now, I'll tell you what. Lloyd knocks this ball away. If it wasn't for Lloyd, Urlacher has the interception.
There are 3 guys in this league that I would be happy to pay money to watch play linebacker. Urlacher, Zach Thomas, and Ray Lewis. They are just a joy to watch every game.
And teams have paid them a lot of money.
Yes, they did.
And they're neat guys to talk to because they're really basically very quiet guys.
Urlacher on the blitz. Dorsey throws behind Eric Johnson, who was a target for the first time, and Urlacher had a clear shot at Ken Dorsey.
I'm going to tell you what. I asked Ken Dorsey yesterday, I said, are you aware of where Urlacher is? He said, you can bet I am. I said, so is every other quarterback in football. Look onto the right-hand side of your screen. He's got a shot at Dorsey. If he doesn't get rid of the ball, he's dead.
Well, he didn't have any problem finding Urlacher on that one, did he?
He saw him coming. Believe me, he saw him coming.
3rd and 10. Empty backfield. Urlacher showing blitz, and he comes. Beasley out in the flat, dropped the ball. Wouldn't have gone anywhere anyway. R.W. McQuarters was right there. The crossbar and went over. 2nd and 20 for the Bears. Krenzel, little dump off to Thomas, and he's tackled by Jamie Winborn, who's been in on several stops, and now who was in there for the injured Tim Rattay.
All right, Eric Johnson's got to make a catch.
Here comes the blitz. Do a pretty good job of picking it up. And the throw not near any receiver. The closest man to it was Alex Brown. And Michael Haynes was applying the pressure.
I want to be flat honest with you. Ken Dorsey's arm is really suspect. I mean, to throw a 15-yard comeback is not something that this young man, I don't think, can do. I think you've got to throw crossing routes. You've got to find Eric Johnson, the tight end, sooner or later. He has 45 catches coming into this game for a reason. And I think that's more of the strength of Ken Dorsey than trying to throw deep comebacks.
Another blitz. Dorsey throws this one out in the flat, and Terry Jackson hit as soon as he caught it.
If you hit him, Alex Brown.
If you're the Bears, call a timeout. I mean, if you're the Bears, call a timeout.
Well, they don't know where Alex Brown is. He's either rushing or he's back in coverage.
And he's a defensive end. Alex Brown was in coverage both times. And take a look at this guy. Boom, back outside. And he's in coverage. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Tell you what, he is very quick, lost 20 pounds from a year ago, and he is the career record holder in sacks for the University of Florida. Had 33. It was a 3-time All-American. He does have some speed. Dorsey deep downfield, tipped and off the fingertips. Incomplete. Arnaz Battle had a shot at it, couldn't hold it.
That's a catch you have to make.
First kick he returned. It was obvious Nebraska had 8 All-Americans. After he returned that kick, everybody knew he was the best player on that field, and he played for Oklahoma State. And there goes RW. Across the 40 to the 42. Let's go to Susie.
Crazy field goals bouncing over the crossbars. Little black magic for Halloween.
And Susie, they have 2 timeouts left if they can get anything out of this. Pass incomplete, intended for Justin Gage, and knocked away by Josilio Hansen, who was in as the nickelback. And there are guys who have just been signed either off the practice squad or off the street playing for the 49ers in the secondary. They've lost so many guys.
That's a good play. You're talking about a guy 5'9" going up against a guy 6'4". Everybody tries to pick on those vertically challenged young men, and they come up big.
When you got that high, you're not vertically challenged.
18 seconds to go in the half. Krenzel. Midfield and out of bounds. Right at the sticks.
Make mistakes and beat themselves.
They need about 15 yards to have a try at a long field goal. And Krenzel throws to the sideline. They've got a timeout left. Terrell makes a catch at the 35. This would set up a 52, 53-yard try for Ettinger, who's already hit 2 long ones. This is for the lead at the half.
Hit it.
Just short. Ettinger gave it a ride and just came up short.
I wanted it to hit. I want to hit 3 for 3, and that's not that far off.
The reason why, when you're on this field, that's down into the wind.
First shot of it tonight. Dorsey in the second half will wait his turn. And Jerry Azuma, who already has a kickoff return of 73 yards, takes this one from the 7 and goes straight up the middle again. Jerry Azuma near midfield. A 42-yard kickoff return. Anthony Thomas, the A-train at running back. Thomas Jones hurt early in the first half with a sprained foot. We have not seen him since. And that ball came loose. Jamie Winborn underneath the pile. No whistle, and they're going to call it a fumble.
Anthony Thomas just got tripped up with his own man in front of him. As he tried to lift his legs, the ball came bouncing out, and BY wound up with it.
Well, Jamie Winborn, he just submarines the blocker in front of Anthony Thomas.
And that did come loose.
That's Anthony Adams, number 91. Watch this. He gets his hand on the ball. Ball comes flying out. And Bryant Young's right there.
And Brian Johnson, the fullback, his foot may have hit that ball and knocked it loose. But whoever knocked it loose, the 49ers have it. Barlow cuts it outside.
He fumbled.
He lost it. And the Bears say they have it back. It looked like Jerry Azuma knocked it loose. And the Bears do have it.
I'm going to tell you what, Kenneth, you've got to protect.
Go send some of that up here.
That was a small pizza.
It was. We have played 1 minute in the second half, and we have 2 turnovers already, which gives you some indication why each one of these teams are 1-5. Let's go to Susie Colbert.
Well, Mike, at the half, I asked Dennis Erickson to assess the play of his quarterback, Ken Dorsey. He said, okay, he's making decent decisions. The plus is no turnovers. Of course, he would like him to make more plays to his tight end, Eric Johnson, as we have pointed out. As for the quarterback that's out on the field right now, the rookie, he agrees. He's playing poised. They've got to get more pressure on him, more blitzes. He said expect to change up with that.
And Susie, if you had asked him about Reggie Barlow, he probably would not have been as complimentary. And there is a Kevin Barlow, excuse me. There was a pass intended for Brian Johnson on the screen. Winborn again, who's had a sensational game, putting on the pressure. But Krenzel missed a perfectly set up screen pass.
It's exactly like the throw he threw before that was picked off an interception. He's just releasing the ball too high, and he's not getting it what you call up and down. It's got to come out of your hand, go over the defender, and head on back down. He's just not giving his back a chance. They had something set up that time because the 49ers tried to bring pressure.
They're going to bring pressure every time.
Then throw screens.
They did.
And it didn't work.
Throw another one.
3rd and 8. Low snap. Pressure again coming on Krenzel. And the pass incomplete. Well short of David Terrell.
I'm going to tell you what, we've been talking about this defense, and we said at the beginning of this game that San Francisco, they were going to come. And why not? You got a rookie standing back there, and you're going to make him make a decision, and that's what you want him to do is make mistakes. But, boy, they are flying.
I wonder if molecular genetics helps you figure out where guys are going to go.
Krenzel was off to a great start. 4 out of 5 for 96 yards. Since then, 4 out of 12 for only 26. Arnaz battle. No more got the ball than he was drilled after a 44-yard punt. Todd McMillan right on top of it. Of Premier Week on ESPN. The 49ers take over. Dorsey straight back to throw. Out in the flat to Johnson. And he is wrapped up. Or a check-it, that's Aaron Walker. He's wrapped up immediately after a short gain. Mike Ditka, the former coach of the Chicago Bears, the Hall of Fame tight end of the Chicago Bears, waiting in our studio. He will be joining us momentarily. I don't know that anyone in the history of pro football has ever been identified more with a city than Mike has with Chicago.
2 guys in Chicago, Butkus and Ditka. How good is that?
Not bad. Barlow taken down as he reached the 27. Lance
Now, one of those guys knew how to dance. None.
Well, they almost ran Mike Ditka for Senate from Illinois. I don't know about president.
Got to start somewhere.
He'd win here, certainly. Dorsey, another blitz. And Dorsey goes down back at the 15-yard line. And it was Israel Adonijah, a young man from Manitoba, Canada.
Boy, all you do is talk about young guys on this defensive line. Watch number 71. Adonijah just comes right in unblocked. And look at the speed he has to get Dorsey.
And Ken Dorsey is saying it'd be nice if somebody got a little bit of a 280-pound defensive end. A rolling punt picked up by R.W. McQuarters, and he is sandwiched as he got to the 47-yard line. There's another penalty marker down. A punt of 39, a return of 8.
Alfonso Marshall, number 22, was involved in that and that was so far away from the play, it's ridiculous.
Holding number 22 of the receiving team during the run back. 10 yards. Going to be a first down.
Alfonso Marshall called for the hold. Mike Ditka joins us when we come back to Soldier Field in Chicago. Welcome back to our Halloween Sunday night from Soldier Field in Chicago. The 49ers and the Bears tied at 13. Hall of Fame coach and tight end Mike Ditka will join us in a moment. Bears take over at their own 43-yard line behind Craig Krenzel, who has won the starting job from Jonathan Quinn. The A-Train picks up a couple. Mike Ditka with us. Mike, thanks for taking the time to do this. We appreciate it. I know you know Lovie Smith. I think anybody that has talked to him really likes the way the guy handles himself. In your opinion, is he the long-term answer here in Chicago?
Well, I hope so. I think Lovie's a great guy. I think he has a great plan. He understands what he wants to do. I believe it's the greatest job in the world. I had it for a while, and I think if you can win in Chicago, that city will love you forever. And I think they're going in the right direction, but it's tough when you get the number of injuries that, especially the quarterback. I think that just took the wind out of their sails.
Mike, why has it always been such a quarterback problem here for such a long period of time?
Well, they really haven't had one since McMahon, and even when we had Jim, at times we had a hard time keeping him healthy, but really, they really just haven't had, and I'm not sure why. They drafted Grossman, and I like the draft because I think Rex can be a very good quarterback, but, you got to be healthy to play the game. And, of course, the injury he had, he wasn't even hit when he got it. He was just turning up, trying to make a play going to the end zone up in Minnesota. So, I don't know how bad the injury is or how long it'll be, but he's out for this year. But it's tough. Joe, you played the position, and you've been hurt, and you kind of got to be a little bit lucky at that position that you don't get hurt. And when you get one that you're counting on, he gets hurt, it kind of takes the wind out of you.
I also think, Mike, you have to do things to protect yourself at that position. Yeah, but the other thing I'm curious about is, Dick Vermeil came back to coach, Joe Gibbs came back to coach, Bill Parcells came back. Have you entertained a thought at all of coming back and doing some coaching?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No. Did you see the look on Joe's face today on the sideline? Did you see the look on Parcells' face all last week? Are you kidding me? Yep. You got to be nuts.
And you know what? I'll tell you what I saw, Mike. I saw the look on your face on our show this morning with Chris Berman, and that looked like a look of joy.
Well, I had fun. I mean, this is kind of fun working with these guys. I know more than Michael, but I'm not sure about the rest of them.
Michael, if you decide to come back, there'll be a whole lot of people that would welcome you.
I say one thing, and it kind of amazes me. I watched the interview after the game with Coach Belichick today, and I watched the interview last week after they won. It was no different. Somewhere along the way, you got to have fun doing this. If it's no fun, I don't know why people do it. I don't think everybody has to be so stoic and take on this genius image. There is no genius to it. If you get good players and you put them in the right position, chances are you got a chance to win. And if you don't, chances are you won't win. But, have a little bit of fun with it.
Mike, it's people like you in the media that, bequeath the title genius on people.
Well, no, believe me. Listen, I coach against a lot of great coaches, and Bill Walsh was probably as close as I would say that anybody came to it, because I think that he took a system and made it work and fit the players into the system, and it became a great organization. It's a shame to watch. These organizations have fallen pretty far. Now, this is a good game in the sense that they're tied because they're both equal, whatever that means.
Mike, one other question for you. The bizarre situation with Ricky Williams, a kid you came to know when you were in New Orleans. Should he come back to the NFL, will he be welcomed anywhere if he does come back?
Well, I think it's going to be tough. I think what he did, he made a rash decision and judgment, and when he made it, he never asked for any advice that could have helped him. I said it was the worst mistake he ever made. He'll regret it for the rest of his life, and I think he will. The NFL probably won't let him back without a 1-year suspension and a 4-game suspension. Rules are rules. They're not meant to be broken. He broke them. You got to abide by the rules of the NFL. I don't feel sorry for him.
Mike, thank you so much.
We
appreciate you taking the time.
Good luck.
And we'll see you down the road.
Good Lord willing.
We have a timeout, 13-13, third quarter from Chicago. 9.5 minutes to go, third quarter. San Francisco will have the ball on its own 34-yard line and a 13-13 tie.
And the Bears have their number 1 and number 2 draft choices in there, side by each.
and the number 1 from last year.
Tommy Harris 99, or Tommy Harris 91, Tank Johnson 99. Guys with quite a future for the Chicago Bears. Dorsey running for his life, gets out of bounds just in front of Hunter Hillenmeyer.
All right, number 1 draft choice, number 91, is Tommy Harris, and he has 2.5 sacks. He was leading this team going into this game. He's in there. Tank Johnson is their number 2 draft choice, and he's number 99. But these guys, I'll tell you what, I said they were going to go after the quarterback of Chicago.
They're going after the quarterback of San Francisco.
Great quarterback of San Francisco, Ken Dorsey, and I mean they're coming after him. These guys aren't even thinking about run.
2nd and 8. Draw play, Barlow. He takes it out to the 40.
You know why they're not thinking about run? Because they got linebackers like Urlacher and everyone else. Is, this is why you can sacrifice your defensive line, not sacrifice it, but let them go for the quarterback.
Sure. Tonight, only 23 yards allowed on the ground. They came in with some lousy numbers. They have done much better this evening. 3rd and 4. Bears showing blitz again, straight up the middle. 2 linebackers right in the middle of that formation. Urlacher comes. This ball's tipped up in the air and incomplete. Looked like Dorsey may have been hit just as he threw, and Alex Brown, who has been in the backfield of the San Francisco 49ers all night long, was at it again.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you take a look at this young man, Dorsey, sitting there, and Alex Brown has just been hammering him. You know, I don't care who you are, the quarterback. If you're an experienced quarterback or not, if you don't have the time to throw the ball, you're not getting it away with these, not the way these guys are rushing.
Then Ken Dorsey.
He has a little bit more time.
Same play. Thomas, just about the same result as he had before. Ulbrich makes the tackle from the corner. They're trying to keep Ulbrich, Winborn, and Derek Smith on the field at the same time, along with Brandon Moore, because they feel right now, when you include Bryant Young, that those are the 5 really good players they have left on defense, along with Tony Parrish, the strong safety, the former Chicago Bear.
Well, what they're trying to do with the Bears, they were just trying to go up the middle and to catch the San Francisco 49ers defensive linemen in stunts. They're stunning all over the place.
Doesn't matter. You're going to run into a linebacker.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
They've been coming up the middle all night.
Don't go up the middle. Go someplace else.
2nd and 16. Krenzel with time and throws incomplete. Bernard Berrien can't get the ball. There is a flag down. Well, they said they would.
That was a mere hand check right there.
That was the point of emphasis during preseason. Here comes the safety blitz. Krenzel trying to get rid of the ball before he's hit, and the ball drops right into the arms of his tight end Desmond Clark. That was fate and a gain of 21.
I'm going to tell you what.
Look at the smile on Krenzel's face. Boy, does he know he got away with one there.
Oh, Ulbrich, number 53, is a linebacker, and he just comes from the right-hand side. He does a double spin move and then hits his arm, and the ball goes up in the air.
But you know what? Give Desmond Clark a lot of credit because he never took his eye off the quarterback. He sat down in the middle of the field. As Krenzel moves around, you see Ulbrich hit the ball, and Clark's just sort of waiting there like a center fielder.
Desmond Clark, the tight end, was the one who said the offensive guy should go find the defense and apologize for how poorly we have played. And Bryant Young comes through that offensive line and gets his 2nd sack. And Bryant Young is the number 1 sack master in the history of the San Francisco 49ers.
Number 97, and I'm going to tell you something. He just ran over Rex Tucker and got to the quarterback. Bryant Young has been doing this all night long.
Rex Tucker's missed the last 33 games, so I guess you could say there's a little rust there.
Well, he's about knocked the rust off.
Pretty close.
Young with a franchise record. Charles Haley is the guy he surpassed tonight. Speaking of great pass rushers. Krenzel draw play to Thomas. Thomas to the 39.
You know what, guys? I can't remember in the last 4 series where the Chicago Bears have had less than 2nd down and 15.
No, you're right.
They have had negative plays on every one of their first downs, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a sack, whether it's a run that stopped. I mean, for Lovie Smith, they can't get out of their way. 2nd down and 17, 2nd down and 15. Oops, I'm sorry. There was a 2nd and 8 in there. And 2nd and 8
is short yardage.
I mean, they just keep killing themselves on 1st and 10.
Well, now it's 3rd and 16.
They're going to come.
Really?
Oh, I would think so.
Krenzel throws underneath. And well short of a first down. Bobby Wade wrapped up. Derek Smith first there to help bring him down. They mark it at the 12. Barlow gets a carry from there and is planted by Mike Green, the strong safety, after a gain of 3. Boy, another big loss for the Bears defense was Mike Brown, who tore an Achilles on the 21st of September. He was such a big play guy for this team.
You know, that really, when you have a young team, and they are young, the Chicago Bears, and you have a guy like Brown, who is one of your leaders, and you lose him, it really hurts.
Barlow again, this time up to the 19-yard line. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Mike, coming into this game, the Bears have really struggled to stop the run. Tonight, they've held the Niners to 31 yards. Brian Urlacher told us that coming into this game, they just hadn't been disciplined enough, not staying in their gaps. And this defense is based on trust, trusting each guy to do his job. They just didn't believe enough in the defensive system, even though they knew when they did their jobs, it worked. It's the same thing we heard in Indianapolis with the Tony Dungy defense. When it works well, as you can see.
And Susie, it's a little difficult for guys nearly picked off there by Lance Briggs, because players from the time they were in high school, defensive players, tend to chase the ball. And in this defense, you're not supposed to chase the ball. You're supposed to be in a certain area. If you get out of that area, you better make a play or you're going to get yelled at a lot.
Well, with Lovie Smith, when he put a defense in, you better play it. And, you know, sometimes I get tired of hearing when they're talking about, you know, they're buying into what we're trying to do. Well, you better buy in.
R.W. McQuarters on a line drive kick. Takes it inside the 40, a 14-yard return on a kick of 34.
Lovie Smith, what he's tried to do is he's tried to bring that philosophy of, we'll call it the Tampa 2. What it basically is it's a situation where your corners play up, your safeties play back, and the key to it is the middle linebacker being able to get back and become the deep third person in the middle of the field. Now, with Brian Urlacher, you don't want to run him away from the line of scrimmage. You want to keep him close enough to be able to make plays. So what Lovie's done, and Ron Rivera, is they've modified the defense so that he can be a more active participant around the line of scrimmage.
Bears starting great field position, and Thomas goes straight up the middle, pounds his way inside the 30-yard line.
Don't you believe it's just a matter of time that they wear out, or wear down, not wear out, but wear down this San Francisco defense. That time there, they just run the ball with Anthony Thomas almost up the middle.
See, that's what you have to do too, Paul. I mean, that's his style of running. Thomas Jones, when he's the starter, is an edge guy. He's got the quick cuts. He can stretch a defense and cut up inside. The A-Train's got to head it north and south on the track.
Did you see him look at the bench after the play saying, give it to me. Keep giving me the football. And there it is.
Yeah.
49ers saw him doing the same thing, and Anthony Adams said, all right, you got it again.
Well, you know where we are again, Joseph? We're back to 2nd down and long again. And this is where the Bears have had, as you pointed out before, their troubles all night long.
See, I think it's a perfect down to throw the football. Let Craig Krenzel throw the football. And the worst you're going to come up with, if he's smart, is 2nd and 10, which would be a major improvement over 5 of the last 6 second downs. And Terry Shea trying to come up with something that his young quarterback can make a play on.
They are already in Edinger field goal range. They go with the reverse. Bobby Wade stays on his feet. Wade inside the 20. Well, there's a little risky play for you, and it paid off.
Well, I'll tell you, Jamie Winborn again, number 55. He almost makes this play. He's out here to the left of the screen. Just take it. He fights off the defense, and actually, I mean, he really makes the play. Watch what he does here. He's being blocked, gets rid of the blocker. Now he's the guy that hits Wade and slows this whole thing down so his teammates get in there and stop him from getting a first down.
3rd and 3.
Boy, the Bears just did a really smart thing. They got out of the huddle because a man was coming in. If they'd had stayed in the huddle, it would have been 12 men. What a smart play that was offensively.
Thomas inside the 15. They need to reach the 13 for a first down. There's a flag down on the play.
It's offside against San Francisco.
San Francisco only has 89 yards in total offense in this game. Thomas with a stutter step. He's down to the 10. 2nd and 7. Thomas, the deep man in the eye.
Let him throw it.
Krenzel, bootleg, throws, end zone, almost intercepted.
You know,
that's the danger of throwing. It was intended for Desmond Clark. And Dwayne Carpenter, who got one earlier, almost had this one. 3rd and 7 for the Bears. Krenzel to throw again. Now he'll take off, protects the ball, and dives to the 9.
It's everything.
On a kick return.
Ken Dorsey gets something going for San Francisco. Dumps this one to Beasley in the flat, and he's banged out of bounds to 38 by Lance Briggs. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, plenty of tricks and treats on Halloween. Craig Krenzel is the first NFL quarterback to throw a touchdown on the first pass of his first start since Elvis Gerbach did it for the Niners in '95. Then the Niners D did what the offense has not been able to do all night, score a touchdown as Dwayne Carpenter takes it in. Now that's because Ken Dorsey has been under pressure all night. Sacked 3 times, hurried 10 times, hit 4 times, but he's still standing.
Susie, the San Francisco offense now has 94 yards. 94, count them, in total offense with 13 minutes and 15 seconds to go in this game.
Well, the last time the San Francisco 49ers had a first down, when there was 4 minutes left in the first half.
Yikes.
So they haven't had a first down.
Now I think you come here, little play action again, try and get it out. And, of course, you got the guy who's been your leading receiver on the sideline.
That's a little staggering.
Here come the Bears again.
They show blitz. Dorsey trying to change the play.
They have 8 men on the line of scrimmage.
They come straight up the middle. Draw to Barlow. Boy, nice call by Dorsey. Got the right play that time.
Well, here's what happens when you have 8 men on the line of scrimmage, and all you have to do is get to the secondary. There's nobody there. Watch when Barlow hits the secondary. See, there's no blue shirts except for about 10 or 15 yards downfield.
That's a case of Lance Briggs. We talked about getting in your gaps, being where you're supposed to be. There's a case where he tries to run a little bit more. He gets out of his gap, and that's exactly where Barlow came through, right at the middle.
Dorsey wants it all. And that throw will go out of bounds.
The most important thing you do when you throw a deep pass is keep it in the field of play.
You got to give your receiver a chance. There's 2 things. The receiver has to give you about 3 yards to the sideline when he goes up the field. And you've got to, with the rules the way they are today, you've got to give him a chance to get interfered with or make the play.
And Dorsey slung that one out of bounds. Cedric Wilson, the intended target.
Tried to kick it after it was out of bounds. He's upset.
Cedric Wilson, their leading receiver, after Eric Johnson.
Please throw the ball Eric Johnson to him.
Blitz. Urlacher picked up. Dorsey throws. That was to the other tight end, Aaron Walker, and Mike Green is going to be flagged for interference. And the crowd does not like the call, obviously.
Well, because it's an automatic first down.
Pass interference, 43 defense, automatic first down.
You know, we were talking about Eric Johnson. Please throw him the ball. Well, here's why they didn't throw. Look on the right-hand side of your screen. Eric Johnson comes off the line of scrimmage, and watch what happens to him. Bink. He goes down on his knees, and then there's pass interference on the other side of the field.
Well, I didn't know about that. That's a place when you get those short routes just after 5 yards, a lot of contact.
Automatic first down for San Francisco, right on the edge of their field goal range. Barlow picks up about 3. Eric Johnson came into this game with 45 catches, number 1 among tight ends in the entire NFL, number 2 among all receivers in the entire NFL. They have thrown at him once. Terrell was the leading receiver for the Bears. He's caught one.
Think about Eric Johnson, though. Last time they played against the Jets were going to deny them getting him the football as well, so maybe people have caught on.
Well, he's averaging 8 catches a game. This one is wide of Brandon Lloyd and out of bounds. It will be 3rd and 8.
Well, this is a bootleg, again, by Ken Dorsey. So, and we're looking, here's Johnson. Look at this. They got the double team on him. They got a linebacker and the safety both playing him. There was no place to go to him there. But that time, Lloyd was wide open, and Dorsey threw the ball wide to his left.
It has been a struggle all night for Ken Dorsey, who started 2 or 3 games earlier this year in relief of Tim Rattay, who was out with a right forearm injury tonight. Blitz coming, sellout, and Dorsey throws. Is it on the ground or caught? They're going to say it is caught by Brandon Lloyd. And Dorsey with a big-time throw that time. Now they're talking it over.
You put a lot of pressure on the center to try and pick up the blitz, to help him out, to direct the line, and get the ball.
Thomas. You know, Lovie Smith is a very soft-spoken, quiet guy who does not curse. And after penalties like that, about the strongest thing he will say is, gosh darn it.
Gee whiz.
He says it through clenched teeth. You know, he is a very rare football player.
I mean,
I know what he's going through.
You know he spent a lot of time with Tony Dungy.
Yes.
I mean, that's, you see the same type of demeanor, the same type of look on the sideline. Very thoughtful, sees everything, but yet keeps very calm.
2nd and 8. He's certainly being tested in his first year as the Bears head coach. And tonight, Krenzel on the screen to Johnson. Johnson did a good job not to lose a lot of yardage. Jeff Ulbrich on coverage. Let's go to Susie.
All right, what you going to do now? You got 3rd and long again. Is David Terrell available? Number 83 in your program.
Terrell is on this side. Krenzel looking the other way. Throws underneath, just short of the first down. They need to reach midfield. Bobby Wade was very close, was pushed back, and then fought forward again.
Man, they gave him the first down.
They gave him an unbelievably generous spot. I don't know if he ever made it to the 50.
The ball has got to make it. Just take a look at this. Now, I mean, look. All right, here, Wade. Now, that ball never crossed that line. Is not totally true, but the ball never did cross.
Ooh, that's close.
But look where they marked it. They marked it almost at the 49-yard line. He never crossed the 50.
That can be challenged as well, but they will not.
Ooh.
And the A train is derailed after a loss of 2. Bryant Young who has been all over the place tonight. Several tackles and 2 sacks.
Well, he's made tackles for losses, and then he's also had 2 sacks. Look at this, Brian. We're talking about a guy that's played 11 years. We're in the 4th quarter with 9 minutes to go, and he's playing like it's first down.
And he has taken Rex Tucker to school over there, number 64.
Well, he said the other night when we talked to him, this team has a fighting spirit even in 1 and 5. They are not going to come out and lay down for anybody. But certainly he has lived up to that. Now they show blitz. Thomas trying to run through it, and he's wrapped up by Derek Smith, middle linebacker, who's missed a couple of games with a bad ankle. And just delighted to get back.
Wasn't he exciting talking to him yesterday, Derek Smith, about his attitude and just to get back? He said, I'll just simplify it, folks. He said, I love it. I love it. I love being out there. I just got to be there.
And he feels every game he's being evaluated, so he's going to play his heart out. A lot of credit to Dennis Erickson. His football team, they've been lost a lot of people. They're 1 and 5, but boy, they have played hard. And Lovie Smith's club's done the same thing. Their record is not indicative of how hard these guys have played.
Here you are back at 3rd and 14 again.
Of course, the Bears.
Krenzel straight back to throw. Throws the out, incomplete, intended for Berrien, who he hit on the first series for a 49-yard touchdown. And right now, neither quarterback able to distinguish themselves.
Well, Craig Krenzel hasn't had a chance because he's been in 3rd and long the entire second half. 1,000 people voted. And thank you.
7:43 to go in this game. 49ers down by a field goal. And a nice catch as McWhorter makes the tackle on Brandon Lloyd. Somehow Ken Dorsey fit it in there for 18 yards.
And this ball was thrown, whether Dorsey had intended on this happening or not, but this ball was thrown in place. Lloyd can catch the ball.
Well, what you're seeing, Paul, is the strength of Dorsey's arm. It's just not that strong. He can't put it up high. Good job by Brandon Lloyd going down and getting the ball.
From the 42. Well, just nothing on the ground for Barlow.
Well, one thing you cannot do against the Chicago
Hesitate.
Bears. Yeah, that little stutter step. Once you do that, it's over.
Brandon Lloyd's an interesting situation. He came here and sort of was given the mantle of Terrell Owens. He had to take over for Terrell Owens. He's a young guy, hasn't really earned his stripes yet, but he seems to be playing a little bit better, a little more solid, and learning that you got to earn the right to be called a star in this league.
Clock running, 6:35 to go. Dorsey throws underneath. That'll be a first down at the Bears' 47-yard line. Lloyd makes another catch.
You know what? They got
a catch.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had any.
No.
Both wide receivers to the near side. And now Dorsey goes to Barlow out of the backfield. Barlow down to the 38-yard line, very close to being in field goal range again. Let's go to Susie.
Well, here's a huge compliment for Brandon Lloyd. I'm talking to Curtis Conway, 12-year veteran before the game. He tells me the thing he's most excited about tonight is watching Brandon Lloyd, watch him break out, watch him get better. He said he has so much ability, and it's like having your kid brother out there because he's always having fun while he's doing it.
And Susie, that's one of the odd things. Curtis Conway was the second leading receiver on this team behind Eric Johnson. As far as I know, they have not thrown the ball to Curtis Conway at all, and they've thrown it toward Eric Johnson once all night long.
And Brandon Lloyd is like he's the only receiver out there. But take a look at what this offense has lost in one simple year. Jeff Garcia's moved on to Cleveland. That's 25 touchdowns. Terrell Owens obviously gone to Philly. That's 9 touchdowns. Ty Streets had 7. And then Garrison Hurst. Look at the 3 there. That's a lot of touchdowns out of your offense.
Wilson is the motion man. Dorsey, here comes the blitz. He unloads. Barlow makes the catch and is dragged down immediately. They're going to lose about 4 yards on that as Urlacher makes the tackle.
Well, Michael Haynes almost nailed the quarterback. I mean, he was there. Number 97 coming off the right-hand side of the screen. Look at this. They never even slowed him down.
Well, nice job by Dorsey just to get rid of it.
He did. Here he is, Michael Haynes again, number 97. Look, I mean, when you don't block anybody, that's Scott Gregg. he never even slowed him down.
When you're an offensive lineman and you drop your head, you're dead.
Dorsey short set and throws, and it's intercepted. Nathan Vasher, the backup corner with a pick. Vasher with blockers in front. He'll go for the touchdown, Chicago Bears. 71-yard return.
Really, that is one of the things that happens to you when you keep going to the same guy over and over and over again, and they just sit there and wait on you. Nathan Vasher just waited.
If you can't throw the ball down the field and get defensive backs to back up, you're absolutely right, Paul. He just sits on this route.
Nathan Vasher, the all-time career leader in interceptions at the University of Texas, gets his second as a pro and goes 71 yards for a touchdown to give the Chicago Bears a 9-point lead. Edinger will try to make it 10, and the 49ers are going to challenge, I believe.
They want to know if he possibly was down because he makes the interception.
Challenging the ruling on the field that the player was not down by contact.
With 3:45 remaining, they're down by 10.
117 throwing the ball.
They come with a four-man rush. Dorsey hit from behind. Throws this one. Will this be intentional grounding, or is it just an incomplete pass? Alex Brown was there applying pressure.
It can't be intentional grounding when you're trying to throw and you got a defensive lineman hanging on you. I mean,
Alex Brown has been unbelievable. We saw him in pass coverage. We saw him back in the quarterback. That wasn't a sack. The ball's coming forward and it comes out.
When I had a chance to talk to Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator, he said Alex Brown makes at least one great play a game. I've counted more than that now.
There is the tight end, Eric Johnson, who had 45 catches in the first 6 games. That is his first catch tonight with 3:34 left to go in the game. How about that?
That is unbelievable. I mean, and it wasn't a question of, I mean, we showed you a couple of times where he's double covered, knocked down. But at the beginning of this game, he was open.
I think you have to find ways to get him the ball.
They'll give the ball to Beasley on 3rd and 2. And Beasley is racked up by Mike Green.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Green hits you like a linebacker. That, you know, if you didn't know the number, you would think it was Urlacher that hit him. Look at here. Look at Green. Bam! They go head to head, and he picks Beasley up, and it drops him on his back. How good is that? And I don't care if they're going up against a rookie quarterback or not. These guys really played well.
Barlow out of the eye. Here's the toss. Trying to get wide and gets the first down and gets out of bounds. That will stop the clock at the 3:14 mark.
You know, you talk about a gutsy call. It's really, I mean, you know, if it works, you got him to the outside. There's no question about it. But you've got to fake, and then you've got to make almost a blind toss.
I like it because the fake holds everybody and freezes the ends. All you need to do is get the ball in the hands of the back, and if he's got any speed at all, he should be able to get there.
And Barlow, even at his size, 240 pounds, does have the speed.
Dennis trying to look at the clock and figure out how we can win this thing.
Brown pressure again. This one's tipped up in the air. Alex Brown out of the University of Florida just keeps coming.
Ken Dorsey has not had an opportunity to set his feet and throw. All night he's had pressure. There's Alex Brown grabbing him from the back. Now you got to zoom in everybody else. Never able to sit still on the ground again. Tank Johnson. Idonije on that one. I mean, it just, everybody got shots at him.
Unrelenting pressure on Dorsey. Beasley on the little floater out in the flat. Mike Green right there to cut his legs out from under him.
Mike Green again. This is a really difficult. Here's Beasley. Now watch Green get himself set. Watch how square he is. And then he just lowers his shoulder and makes the play. Beasley goes nowhere.
Dorsey with the out on R.W. quarters. R.W. McQuarters nearly got the interception on the pass intended for Cedric Wilson.
You got Jerry Azuma back. You got R.W. McQuarters back. Talking about getting Colombo back. I mean, this football team, and once Craig Krenzel starts to get a little more comfortable.
4th and 14.
Mike Brown, hopefully.
4th and 14. And we haven't been able to move the ball all night long.
Charles Tillman.
Blitz coming. Dorsey hangs in the pocket and throws and had a wide open Cedric Wilson. Couldn't hold it.
Hey,
boy, how disappointing was that for Dorsey?
Well, there's tough catches when the guys are going to the ground. And the ball, you know, take a look at where the ball is. The ball is down. He's got to come across and dive. Granted, the ball hits him in the hands. He's a professional, should catch the ball. But these are tough catches.
Well, every throw is below the knees. It's just his release and his delivery. I mean, he's got to throw the ball higher. That's something you spend some time working on in practice now. If he's going to be your quarterback, get the elbow up a little bit and the ball comes out a little higher.
And now the Bears will just work on the clock. They 2nd and 5 for the Bears. Thomas just shy, it appears, of 1st down yardage.
Timeout.
Been in the past in other places where you didn't have everybody out there on the same page and going as hard as they could. I think both of these teams have done that.
And will continue to do it, I think, too. I agree with you there, Michael.
You know, the real hard thing is, though, we were talking to both of these teams.
What I watched in the Minnesota game today, when I watched how much they miss Randy Moss, and I think they miss his leadership on the field.
1:48 left in the game. No more timeouts for San Francisco. Thomas gets inside 30, and that is a 1st down, and that will take care of it. That was the last chance the 49ers had. 25 carries, 98 yards for Anthony Thomas, who only had 48 yards rushing the first 6 games as the backup to Thomas Jones.
But I'll tell you what, I give him a lot of credit. Anthony Thomas came off of that bench knowing him. But you know what we were talking the other day, or to one of the players, we said, you know, you're only like Ken Dorsey. You're one play. If you're a backup guy, you're one play from being a starter. And the hardest thing in the world is, like a guy like Anthony Thomas, is to have a job as a starter, then you're demoted. And there's been a lot of talk about them trading him, doing some things that they haven't been able to do. And to commit and put a performance on,
yeah,
like
you're
this,
right.
You have to give him a lot of credit.
And you don't get a lot of reps.
Well, this is the night Craig Krenzel will remember for the rest of his life, whether he remains as an NFL quarterback for the next couple of years, the next 15 years, goes on to medical school, whatever. He wins his debut as a starter in the National Football League.
Now he's only 3 behind Ben Roethlisberger.
That's right.
That's what he's got to keep. Keep your eye on the prize, Craig. Only 3 behind Big Ben.
And he's 1 ahead of the other rookies in the NFL.
That's right. That Manning guy in New York hasn't even hardly gotten on the field.
Well, I enjoyed celebrating Thanksgiving with you guys.
A lot of fun for us, Paul.
Nice.
That's the final from Soldier Field in Chicago. 23-13 Bears. Stay tuned for SportsCenter for Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Culver, and our entire ESPN crew, the best in football. This is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from Soldier Field in Chicago.